Hello and welcome to Between the Lines with me, Jamz Supernova. This is a podcast which is very close to my heart and dear to my heart because I get to dive in between the lyrics of songs that I absolutely adore and find out about the life experiences behind them. Now, my guest today is an incredible pop princess. She's a dance diva. She's been one of the most go-to vocalists over the last 5 years for underground UK club producers. Hailing from West London, Shepherd's Bush, her name is George Riley.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. I mean, congratulations first on your mixtape. More is
Thank you.
more.
More is more.
It's so fun.
Yes.
I was like walking through Bethnal Green this morning, like, you know, flicking my hair, wanting to stop and dance.
Yes.
I was in my own TikTok video.
Oh my
That's
God.
how I felt.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You're the main character. That's what it's about, really.
Main character,
Main character energy. Yeah.
We're going to break down private life. But before we do that, I just, you know, will always remember you as the really fun young woman that I met in 2018 in the south of France with a little, you had like a denim on denim going on.
Yes.
You had a Mary J. Blige trilby hack.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this, you know, who is this like self-assured, beautiful woman?
I mean, at the time, I think I was just like, I hadn't really, maybe I was like making some music, but I hadn't really like released anything, or maybe I was like getting ready to, but I just was like so excited to be around musicians, to meet you and just be like, oh my God, like this world is so new to me. It was so exciting.
I mean, I thought you were self-assured, knew who you were, intelligent, you know, all of the things then. And I just wonder, when you think back to who you were as that person to who you are now, what kind of journey have you gone on?
Ooh, well, I think I've grown a lot as an artist, definitely in terms of like finding out what I want to do, the type of music I want to make. But also I would say the industry has slapped me in the face like a good few times. And it's like, oh, another thing. I think like maybe I was like blissfully naive of like what it would actually be like. Obviously I've met amazing people. But yeah, I think maybe I let everybody in at that time, and I was very open. And I still pride myself on being a really open person, but I think maybe I've got a little bit more armor, a little bit more like discernment. Yeah, about people.
And I guess, you know, I ask that of you because we're at this project More is More, where it's been like a very much a self-released effort in terms of self-funded, self-released. And I just wonder what your stance was like going into making this project.
I had written in the past like a lot more personal music. Like it had been definitely from my, you know, own emotional, personal experience. And I think coming to this project, I was like, I just want to put all my energy into making something really fun. Like I'd explored that like introspective like side of myself musically. And I think the part that had been missing is like the biggest part of myself, I would say, which is this like really fun, funny, just like extroverted side of myself. And I was like, I want to make something that speaks to that. I want to make something that when I perform it, I can just like be my whole self and like feel like empowered, feel confident, feel sexy. It's funny that to do that, I've kind of used this character almost, but that's kind of enabled me to be my truest self in a way.
So talk to me about the character. Give me the point bar, give me the lowdown. Who is this character?
Oh, she's fun, she's fab, she spends too much money, she makes quite a lot of terrible romantic decisions, she thinks she's a little more intellectual than she is, she buys a lot of books, does she read them? Not so sure. She wants to change the world. Is it possible? She doesn't really believe so without like, you know, buying the right pair of shoes or posting the right, I don't know, just that whole like era that we're in of like kind of self-policing online. And this it's very like online about our inner world and like how we think we're being perceived. So I think this person is like really an extension, a more exaggerated like version of myself, really. It's just like how I feel as a young woman and like all of the pressures of like needing to present this like very polished version of yourself and then really like being a mess, like
when the cameras are off.
Yeah, exactly. And then but also like how that mess like can spill out into other areas of your life.
I mean, if we start with the beginning lines of Private Life. So you want to know who I'm with. You want to know who I'm kissing, smooching. If I got that rizz, baby, don't ask stupid questions. I'm about that bizz. I mean, like straight away, it's like, I'm me.
I'm fab, bro. Don't try me.
I was listening to it in the kitchen and my partner walked in. He was like, oh, this sounds fun. But, you know, there was a song that on the project that initially really stood out to me because the confidence just sort of shined through. So can you tell me maybe where you were at, like, I guess, like on the day when you wrote that song?
Ooh, I was with JD Reed. I wrote it with JD, and I think it was just something that I've been trying to get to a lot because I've written quite a lot of songs for this project, and like there hadn't really been that one that I was like, this is just pure sass. And like I think like when I wake up and go to the studio, there's lots of different like moods I could be in, but like hopefully on a good day I've like dressed I'm not in tracksuit bottoms. I've like put a little bit of effort in. I'm on a mission, and I think also working with JD, like he's such a lovely person, and he can really bring out that side of me. So yeah, I can't really remember what the day was like, but we definitely would have I would have written it all on the same day. Like I never really like come back to stuff that much.
And you wouldn't have written it previously at home?
No, I never do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always in the studio.
Yeah, like I always think like the best ideas are the ones that like just come out of the brain. Like I never, if something feels like difficult or it's taking a long time to like get there, or I don't hear something coming like immediately, I'm just like, leave it there, park it. I always want to like get the most like distilled like thought or like vision, and like that always feels like the most just the purest like best idea that you can have. So for me personally, I can write at home, but it's not something I really like to do. I like to be present.
I love like I've got young nieces, and they were like talking to me about rizz. Like, do you know what rizz means? And I was like, no. They're like, you don't know what rizz means? I'm like, no. What is rizz?
Rizz is like, I guess it's just like that flirtatious, like you've got something about you that people want to be part of and want to get to know you.
You've got rizz in abundance. You do have rizz in abundance.
I got a lot of rizz.
There is. Have you always had rizz?
I'm gonna say yes, but
there's the rizz right there. Yeah.
I love talking. I'm a big like conversationalist. I love speaking to anybody, and also I love like, I'm a Gemini, but I feel like I'm just a flirtatious person, but like in the broadest sense of the word, like
with everybody,
with everyone. Like I'm like, I want to get to know you, whatever your creed, wherever you come from. I'm just very curious. So like I'm just interested in people, just generally. But yeah, I definitely can be shy. I can have my shy moments, for sure. But yeah.
Was that kind of, I guess, like that openness, and I guess we say flirtatious, but was that enhanced growing up, or was that maybe like, I don't know, I'm just thinking kind of, school can be tough, secondary school can be tough, college can be tough.
School was tough. But I went to a really small school, so it was never like a situation of like, there's these people and you're trying to like, I only had like 30 people in my year. So there wasn't really like room to have like divisions. Definitely like with other schools and like with boys or whatever, like of course I felt like and also like I was like, I think the only black person in my year, and like mostly like growing up, like there was black people like at other schools, but like not really. So I definitely felt that I felt very unattractive like as a teenager, or like I didn't have that like black role model, like those black women role models to be like, oh, black is beautiful, and like I should be proud of my hair and I should be proud of my skin and all those types of things. So like at that teenage stage, I was very like, oh God, I'm so confused.
Yeah. And that's understandable if you don't see yourself reflected, but also you're hyper visible.
Yes.
So there's one stand on one place, you are really hyper visible out of everybody because you are different and perceived to be different. But then on the other side, it's kind of hard to lean into that confidence when you're not seeing it, around. So where did you find the confidence then? The rizz.
Oh, where did I find my rizz? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've always had a rizz in spite of, like, I'm the type of person that is like, I'm very confident, but I'm also very, it's like all artists really, like I'm so fab and I'm so insecure at the same time. Everything just comes in tandem with each other. So I think I'm just a bubbly kind of person, and I just love speaking to people, and I've always been a performer. I've always like loved being on stage, like from like being a child. Like I love attention.
Yeah. So
undeniably.
So basically, they had no choice but to.
I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. Like I love making people laugh.
I mean, there's duality, and that's important, and I feel like that's what's definitely expressed, on this project. But if you were to think about, like, if you'd had like a hypothetical mood board of all the sort of not contradictions, but all the oxymorons that present themselves, or more is more, what comes up?
Well, in an interview I did recently, I was talking about Klarna, because I was mentioning it like when talking about the song More, and a good friend of mine, she was like, because I posted something about like Klarna, like I was being like, yes, just get your shoes, girl, don't worry, just put it on Klarna. I was joking, and my friend was like, yes, I love Klarna, this is what I'm just, and I was like, girl, no, it was a joke.
Yeah.
But I think it's like that, like you want the thing, but you can't afford the thing, or you think the thing is gonna like, make you Beyonce, and like what that pair of shoes is gonna change your life, but it doesn't, and you're more in debt. Or it's like I've got that confidence, but then that's an armor, and there's like this more sensitive and like squishy person inside. And then also I think like this wanting to be a smart person, or like wanting to not be an intellectual, but like wanting to have something to say, or like be opinionated, but then not really doing the work to like get to that stage, I guess. And I think like we're in like a very scary like anti-intellectualism like era, where the visual side is so much more important. We're consuming everything with our eyes, and so that means that the substance of the music or the conversation or whatever the situation is, we're not really like getting to the heart of. So I think it's kind of also like about that, just like what happens when we're just like consuming everything with our eyes and like not really like getting to the heart of the thing first.
Yeah, or having the nuance to ask questions to delve a bit deeper than beyond what we see. Actually, people believe what we see it almost instantly. What we see, which is a crazy time to be in. And this idea of like anti-intellectualism, I'm actually really, I'm really interested in. Like, you've studied so like law, politics, and what was the other one?
Philosophy.
Yeah, 2 P's in it. Like that's
no E. I'm not good at maths.
No, okay. I mean, they're quite big subjects.
Yeah, I've always been so interested in politics, but I think at the age that you go to uni, it's really silly because obviously I was just out at the club.
Just politics in its own way, yeah.
Which is true that the personal is political. But I think like now, I'm reading so much more at the moment, and like I feel like my brain just clicked in so much more, and it's like a good time to like be studying and like be engaged in those things, like just for me, like personally. But yeah, it's always something I've been really interested in. But I'm just interested in people. Like I'm just like the anthropology of it all, and like how people come to like make certain decisions, or like how they come to like be involved in one political party, or like how they think about the world. Like how does someone get to that point? I'm just like, that's so interesting to me.
And do you have the space to talk about it? Like when you go to the studio, is there space to express that, or down the pub, or in the or in the club?
I do feel like I'm always talking about it. I do have a lot of friends that are interested in similar things, and I think we all do like speak about all of these types of things like often, actually. So I'm lucky to have like people to get into it with. But with that being said, like I would like to join some kind of, like I'm thinking about this recently, like some kind of group, I don't know, just like to have like a more regular place to like have those conversations and like just meet different people in my local community. And like, yeah, I'm not sure what it would look like. I'm sure there's lots of different things. But yeah, I'm like looking for something to like
take it offline.
Take it offline, definitely.
Yeah. And I guess, I think that makes me think back to like all those steering groups that would have happened in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, in the communities and people that either come together about housing or about race or all the different issues. We had Rich Free too on this podcast, and his family were activists in the area of Tottenham.
So interesting.
So I think that is important to come back to. So we get back to private life.
Yes.
Shut your mouth if you're about my private life. Let me tell you this. I got good pussy. Don't fuck with the centre right.
Or left, I know. I just couldn't fit it in.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, again, this is like lessons of George in like pop culture. What does that mean, don't fuck with the centre right?
Oh, like the centre right of politics. But then I would say like the Labour Party that's in are also like on the centre right.
Yeah.
So like just in like in our like political landscape, like just the centre in general is like leaning right, leaning conservative. So just saying that's not for me.
Yeah. That's a really playful way of inserting it, because the first, the line before that, I got good pussy.
Yeah.
And then it kind of sets up, like, then I'm like thinking of it in a more sexual term.
Yes.
Like, but you're bringing it, you're playing with perception, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like, it's not like, I've got good pussy, but I've also got great politics.
Yes, exactly. Actually, the original line was genocide. And I just thought that feels a little too insensitive to put right next to pussy. So I was like, let me change that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is there a fine line to balance in that way? And sometimes
I think so. I mean, it's definitely something that I've thought about a lot. But I'm not sure if other people would feel the same about it. I'd definitely be open to hearing like what other people think about it. But I personally was like, it's definitely something that I've been speaking about in terms of Palestine, like for a long time. But then to put it, I don't know, I thought it felt crude in that moment.
Yeah.
So that's why I changed the lyric. But yeah.
I think it's important that we do have sensitivity around ourselves as well. Everyone's very sensitive about what other people say.
Yes.
We also kind of have to have that sort of self-reflection as well, and it's not always like wrong is strong and well, I just freedom of speech, I'm just going to say it. If you because there is a feeling sometimes if what you're saying is a bit
for sure
borderline.
With that being said, I also feel like the club and the dance floor can be a really liberating and political space, and so it's not to like shy away from those things, but just for me to like try and say it in a way that I feel like is, I don't know, just right for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like that you came to that conclusion. And let's talk about then this, I got good pussy. That's again is like this kind of assured sort of, self-confidence. And when you're in the studio, with that sort of line, kind of like,
it's definitely the sort of line that I'd be like, oh my God, can I say that? And I'd be like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Who tells you go on then? Or you?
Me to myself.
Yeah. George, can I do this?
Can I do, me to me. The voices.
I mean, what are your thoughts about, because I know that the project explores like modern femininity and
sexuality.
Where are you at with that?
I'm feeling quite free at the moment. I feel like I definitely love sex, want to talk about sex, feel empowered to. I also think that like, we're in a time where it's just getting a little bit like, the trad wife era and like everything's, I feel like going in that direction. And I'm like, yes, be sexy, talk about your sexuality. And like in the song I'm saying, don't worry about your body count. Like if anyone's asking you those kind of questions, that's ridiculous. Like be yourself, like be sexually empowered to present and do as you feel. Although I definitely, when I was younger, I was like, sexual liberation. And then I was like, wait, let's put the context, let's contextualize it in the state that we're in, which is that actually, the world is just like a scary place and that doesn't always, you know, end up being safe. Being safe to do that. So yeah, I think it's like, it's twofold. It's like, you know, present and be who you are, but then obviously we are living in a world that is a bit scary. So, you know, you do have to be careful and, you know, look after yourself.
And then I guess it's almost frustrating in some ways that you can't just be sexually liberated without the worry of the violence that may encounter. Which is scary, and also kind of it comes back on the woman.
Exactly. For the most part. There's so much judgment, I think. Like, men and women are treated so differently in terms of like sexuality, and women are judged like so harshly for it. So yeah, I do think it is transgressive to speak about it and to present that way. But yeah, it's just a scary time.
Yeah, but I also think it's important to express desire.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of, you know, I'm sure your audience is a younger audience as well. You know, I'm sure you have a range of audiences and a Big Six music following as well. But there's still a younger audience that are going to come across, and to kind of like,
oh no, I'd never said to myself
but to not express desire, which everybody has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I always think about like for me, like secondary school, it was like the shame.
Yes, the shame.
It was like, if you got called a hoe, the worst thing that it could be. And then it was like, everyone pretended to be a virgin.
Yes.
I remember one girl saying to me, like, she pulled me aside, she was like, Jamila, if you lose your virginity, you need to let me know.
Why?
And I don't know. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. She was like, you are still a virgin. I was like, yeah.
Oh my God. I think, because young women police each other so much as well. Like, we're policing ourselves, we're policing each other, then men are policing you. It's just like, oh my God, it's crazy. And also just, I think it's important to let young men know that women are sexual beings as well. We have desires and we have agency over our bodies and like our, you know, whoever we're attracted to. And I think a lot of like the climate is more saying it's the other way, and that women are like, you know, some kind of eunuch and like only become, you know, sexually alive when a man is interacting with you, which obviously is just not true at all. And then the implications that then has for like sex in general, and like the orgasm gap and all of these things. And it's just like, we just need to be speaking about it, and letting young women know it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And even the body count, you know, the idea of a body, who came up with that?
So
what's
stupid.
Your body count?
So stupid. It's a psyop. It's a psyop.
What's a psyop?
A psyop is like something the government would have like secretly put in to like the public consciousness to be like
soft power.
Yes, like the CIA would like be doing like randoms. They would be like planting, like people think that like buzzballs are a psyop. It's like kind of a joke. Okay, well, but it's like, where did buzzballs come from? And like, why are they infiltrating the black community?
They're poisoning us. I feel like there's probably like a Jordan Peele film in that.
Exactly.
Is there an art to write in sex positive lyrics?
Ooh, I think there is. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of someone who I think like. I mean, let's say we would like WAP, for instance. Like, there was such a backlash to that song. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, Wet Ass Pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people were like, oh my God, this is blasphemous. There's two women shaking ass talking about wet ass pussy. And it is really crude, but that's what I kind of love about it. Also, see China. Oh my God, love her so much. Is so explicit, and her vibe is definitely like degrading men, talking about how she's in control of her own sexuality, and so many men are like, oh my God, this is so crude and horrible, and all the women are like, I love it, this is so fab, and I feel really liberated and empowered by it. So I feel like there's like that like very like crude like and explicit and just really fun and fab confident way of talking about sexuality, and then there's definitely like the more R&B like Minnie Riperton, like what's one of her lyrics, like come inside my love, or like, you know, things that are or Janet Jackson, like things that are really so sexy, but because it's like dressed up in a metaphor, you're like, what's even going on? And this is so kid friendly. And then you're like, oh my God, like what was she talking about? So I love that as well, like where it can be really nuanced and like really beautiful. And then you listen to the lyric and you're like, oh wow.
Didn't realize it was about that. Yeah, more times exactly. I'm sorry, it goes over my head. I'm like, I just like, come in, my love, come open the door.
Exactly. You come. Exactly. But knocking on the door.
Yeah, and the two can exist, right? That's what you're saying is the two can coexist.
For sure. I love both.
Yeah, you can be beautifully expressive and have all the metaphors, or you can just say exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not uncommon that the music industry, more times in the studio, you're right, are you in it with men?
Yes.
What is it like then expressing, this sex positivity side in a room full of men?
It really depends. It really depends on who you're with. Like I was in a writing session recently and it was like, I didn't know anyone. It was like 5 men in the room and they were like, okay, perfect. Now, it's your turn to like, say something. And like, it can definitely feel intimidating at times. I've felt intimidated at times or sometimes like unsafe at times. I think I feel at this point, like I'm quite confident to say whatever, but then at the same time, like there is always that, even if you're not explicitly thinking about someone's judgment of you, you might be thinking that like internally, like, so I think I love working with women. I love working with queer people. Like it definitely like opens up a whole different dimension of like my comfortability in the studio. And that's something I'd love to get to do more. So yeah, I think it definitely can. It definitely can feel restrictive. Doesn't have to, but yeah, it's a factor.
Did you get to a point in that studio session with the 5 guys where you were able to just openly?
Yeah, for sure.
And what was the sort of internal dialogue with yourself? Because
I think it's just also the fact like of walking into a room and you just don't know anyone, and then you're there. There's an expectation about your, I guess, deservedness, like to be in that space to begin with, and then it comes to the point of like the performance, the writing and the performance. And like how I would feel about that. I think in that session, like you have to just be like, hey everyone, what's going on? I'm George, and like here's some common ground that we have, and like here's like I would say I do a lot of work to like make it a comfortable space for myself. And I think I'm at a point now where if I didn't feel that, I would just get up and leave. But yeah, so I didn't feel like it was like a, it was scary, but it is still something where I'm aware that I'm like the only woman there.
Yeah,
and,
conscious.
Exactly. I'm conscious of it, and yeah, I'm like, are they gonna like what I'm gonna do and whatever? But then I'm also just like, give a fuck. So
yeah, but won't come back then.
Yeah, whatever. Take it or leave it. I am who I am.
Do you feel like there's like a generational divide in sex positivity? Because I'm thinking, so I'm turning 35, so there was a generational gap between us. And when I think about my friends that maybe even slightly older as well, I'm like, but why are you not having sex more? Like you're single, like you guys, like you should be shagging everybody.
There's no one to shag though. There's nobody to shag.
Is that what is happening out there?
I would say it does seem tough out there. I would say I feel like for the younger generation, like my brother's 25, so I hear about like what's going on with them, and like I feel like there is like a bit more of like a rise of like that more conservative values, and like a bit more like women shouldn't be as talking about who's on the roster and whatever, or like maybe it's like that women are going more that way and men are going more the other way into like more like having more conservative values. And then like for my girlfriends, like I just feel like it just seems like it's a really, really difficult time to like meet anyone, and like just with the apps and like with I guess just like how our lifestyles have become, where we're so online, like you kind of are with the people that you work with, and like there is, I don't know how you feel about it, but in terms of like socializing outside of your the group of friends that you already have, there's not that much room to do that, especially like in London life where everything's just like go all the time. And then there is a thing of like, for the heteros, like the good men are gone, are long gone, and then who are we left with? And it's really the dregs. So and I'm just in terms of like male like emotional like competence, I feel like women are so much more advanced, like in terms of like talking about needs and wants and emotions. And so I think it's changing a bit, but then at the same time, I don't know how much it is. So yeah, it's difficult.
I think the internet and the way the internet has changed. When I talk about the internet, mostly I talk about Instagram.
Yes.
Like for me, that's like the beginning of the internet.
I'm on TikTok.
Like that. That is the beginning of the end. Is kind of Instagram around desires, around being open to the possibility of people looking different, being different. It homogenized so much.
Such a great point. I feel like, the beauty standard, like what like a man would expect is changing as well. Yeah, because everyone's got Instagram face, everyone's got the same, we've got to be perfect. And that's probably, I mean, that's definitely not good for sex, is it? Like,
no, sex is
terrible.
meant to be, very imperfect, it's kind of the most, like messiest moment in life. But if you can't be comfortable being, you know, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
What else you want to know? I'm 5'5", thinking about how I'm about to drop it low. Ask my politics, but if it's about my body count, leave it out. I felt like the 5'5" reference was so Naughties, like 5'5" with brown eyes, you know. Are you 5'5"?
I'm like 5'5". I would say I'm like 5'5.5". I would say I have a tall personality. People often think I'm taller than I am.
Same. I'm 5'4". But I would tell people I'm 5'5", just to be
exactly. Yeah. I might tell someone I'm 5'6", but I'm probably probably not true yet.
Yeah, but the reference in it it's playful, it's fun, but it definitely zones in on I remember we spoke about the beauty standards, you know, but there was a period of time when I don't know why every song referenced a woman and the attributes of a woman being 5'5". Like, who introduced that as the perfect height? You know, it's good for us, but what about everybody else?
That's so funny. I hadn't even like thought about like the canon, but that's probably where I even took it from. 5'5". I mean, I guess, well, I was about to say like height for if you're woman or femme doesn't matter, but then I guess there is like, if you're really tall, then they're like, oh, I need somebody who's 6'5", or like whatever. It gets taller and taller and taller.
Yeah. Because if a woman's bigger, then if a woman's like 6 foot, she's not going to go for a guy that's 5'5". It isn't.
Yeah, or maybe she is. Or maybe Zendaya, Tom Holland, Short King.
True.
King. That is a great sign of confidence in a man. If you're just like there, my lady's tall and beautiful. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Jamie Cullum. He's got no tall wife. Sophie Doll. I don't know why I think of them too, but they, you know, he knows it. She knows it.
Exactly.
Beautiful union.
We love to see it.
Talk to me about how the Naughties played a role on this tape and this song.
Oh yes. I was definitely really influenced by the music that I was hearing growing up, like Craig David, Born to Do It, like Jamelia, Blue, Girls Aloud. I think just in general, the music, or like how I thought about music as a teen and like into my early 20s, I had this a little bit aversion to pop, or like I had this like, it's a bit of a dirty word, like I'm really cool, like I listen to niche music, I listen to NTS, girl,
so
like
underground.
Like I'm so underground. And then at a certain point, don't get me wrong, love that as well, love Cafe Otto, etc. But I feel like I'd like dismissed my love of pop music also, and just like how fun and how fab it can be, how experimental it can be. And I think maybe that's because in the 2010s pop music got very generic, and there was like this era of like the dance like pop song that was just like the radio, what you're hearing regularly, so homogenized and like a bit boring that, you know, I was like forgetting about this like whole era of the 2000s where actually people got to explore so much. And like Khalees, like Milkshake, like all of these songs that are like, oh my God, this was what was like the most popular song at the time. And if you listen to it, it's like got some quite strange sounds in there. And like they were really having fun. They were really being playful. They were like such pioneers of that time. So I was really like, oh, like this is such a fun area for me to explore sonically. And then I read this book by Michael Cragg called Reach for the Stars, as Club 7 reference.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So then I was like, I really love the book, and like he was speaking a lot to like a lot of the producers, songwriters, and like bands of that era, and like what it was like, and also like the excess, and like how much of a different time it was because they didn't have social media, and like the money was flowing, like money in pop music was flowing, so they could spend crazy amounts on a video, or like crazy amounts on a signing just for them to be like dropped by like the next single, and like just the ups and downs of it, and like the sheer like hedonism like of that time. And so yeah, I was like, that's a really interesting space, and like it felt like a really free, open like space to like be influenced by or like get into sonically. But also the British aspect of that was really important for me.
What was the difference, do you think, between the US aspect and the British aspect?
I think well there's definitely that Caribbean influence in the UK. So there's that like mystique, and then thinking about garage, thinking about jungle, like how all of those influences like ended up like in pop music. So that I find so interesting, and like part of my heritage that I'm like I want to explore like musically. And then also like I think I just love British accents. Like I love hearing a British accent on a record, like on a pop song. Like it just is a point of difference to me. And like something about British pop I feel like is more personal maybe. Like I like the American side, and like it's got this more polished vibe. It's definitely like in terms of like how they've engineered the vocals, like it's the tuning is different. But there's something about the rawness of like the UK sound that like just like it's got something else that I'm like I just love it.
And there was a specific, I watched Bend It Like Beckham the other day.
Exactly.
And there's like a specific there was a specific British accent that I don't even hear anymore. But it was really like, even like what's her name?
What, the white girl?
Keira Knightley. Yeah. But even how she was talking, there was like this kind of like very British aspect of talking, of expressing. Both of them had similar accents, the South Asian girl and Keira Knightley as well. And I loved it on one of the tracks, like on the outro, I think it's on More. You're like, Jonathan. Yeah. You're like, Jonathan. I just bought all these shoes, and you owe me money, Jonathan.
Oh my God. When I was recording that, I was like doing like some ad libs at the end of the song, and the producer at the time, he just like had left it running, and then I was just like, saying that, and he looked at me and was like, "Girl, what?"
Yeah, and like, who's Jonathan?
I was like, don't worry about Jonathan. We're keeping it in this. Don't you worry about who Jonathan is, girl. We're keeping it in the song.
Yeah, I love the story. I love your imagination. I think that's what really comes through as well.
Yeah.
Is it hard then to take some of that naughties, that hedonism, that
excess,
and do it in 2025 when it feels like we're just like picking crumbs,
Yeah. I mean, I'd say like the overall vibe of the project and like how the videos and everything is like a big contrast to like the reality of being an independent artist. Like it is a real slog, like trying to get everything over the line and like, do all the promo, and like it feels like a really uphill battle, but at the same time it has been really rewarding. So I don't know, maybe that's why it was fun to explore like the hedonism as well, because it is such a contrast, and like I was just like
doing it on a budget.
Like how can we make the biggest, loudest like thing sonically, and like just make such as the biggest splash that I possibly can, like basically. So it's just the whole thing's been very silly and very fun, which is a nice antidote to like a lot of other things.
Yeah, needed. I felt like I felt like it feels like a needed project. We need the we need the deeper stuff, and we need that stuff to speak to the times that we're in, but we also need the escapism as well.
Yeah, I think so.
And you've spoken in other interviews like about where you mentioned about like you've done the personal excavation and reaching deep within yourself, and that this time around it was obviously more carefree, more fun, but it was also kind of needed. And I wondered, like, for your mental health, do you sometimes need these times to be like, I just want to escape?
Yeah, I think definitely. But then also there is something about, like, when I've been promoting some of these songs, like, okay, I need to step into this character, and like that's something that like an armor, a uniform that I need to put on in order to like get to that point of like promoting also. So it's kind of like it's a different kettle of fish, but it's like I mean I'm sure everyone feels the same, but promoting stuff is hard.
Yeah.
And like doing social media, trying to like or just like coming to realize that making the music is like 10% of the job. And we're like, hey, step one. Like when when we met back in 2018, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be a singer. It's a fab.
But I'm just gonna sing.
I'm just gonna sing. I just write songs. That's what I do. So come to find out, that is like 10% of the job. Is like harrowing. So like I feel like this has been a really interesting experience in terms of like putting on the costume and going about it that way, and I've actually really enjoyed it. It's been quite freeing in a way, but then I also am still dealing with like the insecurity of like, how do people perceive this? And that's totally out of my control. And like I am having a really fun time, and like how do people what is people's like perception of me going to be as playing this like character, so to speak. And like I have to just be okay with that, and you do just have to be okay with that, like with if you're like someone that is putting yourself out there in that way, you just have to like make peace with it. But it's not easy though.
Are there any sort of tools in your bag to make peace with it?
I feel that this is the first time that I've really been trusting my own voice, like with the creative vision. So that's been really fun. Like I think in the past, I've always been like, somebody's probably got a better idea than me. Let's go with that. And like that's felt more difficult sometimes in a way to promote, because it hasn't always been like my idea, or like obviously I'm really involved, but it's not been like totally my vision. So I think getting to that stage of being an artist and being able to be like, yes, George, whatever you think is probably what you should do, even though that sounds crazy because a lot of people are already born like that. But yeah, that's been helpful. It's like every step I'm learning, and I'm gaining confidence. I'm understanding more about myself and like more about my own personal boundaries. Yeah,
you can hear it. I think you can definitely really hear it. So fuck who I want, love who I want. Marvin Gaye on the box. Put that shit on. Hey, you want to know what's going on in my private life? My private life. Hey, no, baby, you don't belong in my private life. My private life. Yes. So that's the chorus, and it comes back. At the end as well. We got the directness. We carry on with the directness of the fuck who I want, love who I want. I love the Marvin Gaye reference.
Yes. Well, obviously, like, what's going on? I was thinking about. But also I was thinking about that album, and like about like that was such a political era for music and
civil rights.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I feel like at that time people were really, talking about really important things, and it was getting through to people. Because I think before I had felt that speaking about anything political in music was a bit like pointless, or like I was like, everyone loves Bob Marley, and like who's really paying attention? What's going on? It's not even adding up.
You know what's so funny? Like we were, I bet you any money if you went down to some of the more like St. Georgie flag marches, and you said, what's your favourite song?
Yeah,
Bob Marley.
you know what I mean? I'm just like universally admired and loved across the world.
Yeah.
What's going on? People aren't paying attention. It doesn't work. But I think that is quite a cynical and like obtuse take. Maybe as I've gotten older, I'm like, I do think that art, music can make a huge difference and it is important. So I mean, I wasn't like deep in it. I don't think like my lyrics are like particularly deep, but that was just something I was thinking about, and I thought it was like a cute little reference to Marvin in there.
Yeah, and I think it's something worth exploring.
Yeah.
I do believe that music, because I believe music tells the most truest history.
Yeah.
History books don't tell you the history.
Yes.
I don't know, everything, the way things are edited, but often I would trust an artist of a time more than I would probably trust, a book of the time.
Yeah.
And who's written the book or a news report.
Yeah, I guess like the news or like the history that comes to the surface is that of like whoever's won the
war.
Exactly. So yeah, I think artists have like a very unique perspective and ability to translate that to a big audience that might not be wanting to,
engage, in that way. Yeah,
exactly.
And do you feel like now there is a demand then for pop stars to be political? Is it a requirement in some ways for you to state your politics?
I think it is. Like, I think because everyone's online and you can like build your audience is quite siloed off. Like you can have like quite a small but really engaged audience, and because of social media and because of the demand for people to understand who you are as a person, and that being like a requirement of you promoting and putting your music out there, the audience has I think quite like fair desire, demand to know like what your political stance is. And so yeah, I do think it is a requirement of our like modern age in a way it's never really been like before. With that being said, I think like there's been a lot of like policing going on about like on the left of like, if you're going to say something, it's got to be like this. And then we're all kind of policing ourselves and everyone's policing each other about what the right thing to say is. And in a way, sometimes I feel like it does miss the point of like what we're all trying to collectively achieve. And like, I think just in terms of like, my group of friends or whatever, like we're all on the same side here. So like, let's come together and like figure out ways to make a change rather than policing each other in I feel like that can feel really toxic and unproductive, and also like a kind of just like a bit of like a hierarchical dynamic that the left sometimes have. It's like, no, I have the truest left view, and it's like, girl, it's not even helping, girl.
It's just like this is exactly what is happening right now, and it's playing out before
exactly like even the your party thing with it's like, come guys, this is so embarrassing, we need to get it together right now.
It's like they're laughing at us. You couldn't write, you could write it, but you literally couldn't write it as well. What for you then? Okay, so we know that there's a demand for politics, either within the music or within how you present yourself on stage or online. But in terms of like writing a great pop song and this exploration that you've been on, what are the requirements for a great pop song?
Oh, well, I think a great pop song is really loud, bright, expressive, has a lot of personality, and I think is actually really simple. Like, I think I'm always of the like outlook that the simpler the lyric, the more digestible the lyric, the better, basically. Or like the easiest way that you can say what you want to say is the best way. So I always think that, and also I do like things that are like quite metaphorical sometimes. Like, I think sometimes when people are very explicitly
on the nose,
I sometimes feel like the message can be lost, and actually what you want to do is like have like quite a broader stroke somehow. I feel like you can reach more people. But yeah.
Would you say that you thought about these lyrics?
Yes, but I would also say that yes and no. Like, I kind of went with what felt good, and I tried not to overthink it too much. I was like, in the past I've have been a bit more like, let's think about things. But I definitely this time around been like, let's go with the feeling, let's go with the intuitive like idea that comes first, and that's probably going to be the best thing.
First and best.
Yes.
Ask me who I'm wearing as if I tell. You don't cap my style, baby. I ain't trying to sell you shit. No, I've bought enough, honey. I love the comedic edge. I mean, there's definitely like comedy in the music as well. I think people like described it as like, you know, satire in some of the reviews as well. For you, is that just you coming through?
Yeah, I think so. Like I think things are so funny. I think everyone's so funny. So many situations. There's so much humor in everything. So yeah, it's like it was fun to like get to put that in the music, and yeah, I just think it's just going to be fun to perform. So I'm just excited for that as well.
I want to see the character in full force on the stage.
Exactly.
Because I feel like with that, there's so much you can do with it. And I don't mean like in a, maybe it isn't a role play way, but there's you can almost create this whole kind of melodrama.
Yeah, exactly.
Of this, you know, George Riley character. But in such a fascinating way. I know we spoke a little bit about Klarna, but in this specific section, you know, it's kind of it's capitalism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you feel that capitalism affects women differently?
Yes, I think like just the fact that the beauty standard is so consistently changing, and then also just like as you know, people that are trying to be public in that sense, like I think there is a pressure to like always have the latest thing, and like if you have this item that is only going to be accessible to you if you're in a certain tax bracket, then you'll get you'll get that type of fashion job, or you'll get this door opened, or like everything, like how we look, I feel like is such an important part of our jobs. And that can be really frustrating, where like men really don't, like obviously some men partake, but it's definitely not a requirement in the same way that it is for women. So yeah, I'm often like, don't get me wrong, I love clothes and I love to look fab, but it's some, you know, every day also when I'm like, oh my God, I've got to wash my hair today, and that's going to take 3 hours, and I've got to get my nails done. I actually find all of it so boring. And I like it. Like if I could snap my fingers and it would be done, I'd be so happy. Like I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I can't wait to go and sit in the salon, whatever. I'm just like, well, this is so annoying. I'm actually so jealous. Like that. I mean, it's twofold. Like I love dressing up as well. So that is, you know, really fun, and like I feel blessed to get to explore that. But then on the other side, I'm like, oh my God, this is so expensive and so time consuming. And I am jealous of people that just don't have to do it.
Well, there's things that I've had to just say I don't have the time to do. Like my eyebrows, you know, I mean, I've always had like messy eyebrows, but like, I just embrace them.
The eyebrows are good. I'm shaving my eyebrows every day, but I've got brow blindness now. They're getting so thin. Like,
okay.
I'm like, I'm just really into the thin look, but like I can't, you know, they're barely there.
But I mean, it's your statement, isn't it? And how you want to portray it. But like even the nails, I'm like, I can't get my nail. I can't sit there every couple of weeks to get them done. I just don't have the the
time.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a time tax and a financial tax for women, and I think there's also a perception as well. You know, and we get, I think, people maybe think maybe a bit deeper into it than there is. Like the person that's got their nails done is more put together, or
or like there's like that hygiene thing where like it's like how clean do you look, and like like this thing online where it's like I shower twice a day. Well, I shower 3 times, and it's like, girl,
well,
like
do you wash your legs?
I'm just like, yes I do, but it's like, guys, like if I was showering this many times a day, I'd be really, really dry. So
and the water. I mean, where does the planet, guys? The planet. I think that actually kind of nicely takes us to this section. But can you handle it? A principled bitch with a nice face, slim waist, thick hair. No one cares. Only worried about what's going on under there. So when you say under there, so again, instantly I'm thinking like under there.
Yes.
But are you talking about under?
Oh no, I think I meant below the waist.
Okay.
But, but that was just like a fun lyric. Not too much behind it other than let's have a look. Like,
Yeah. Don't worry about what's up here. I've got it all going on. You know, I've got the nice face. I've got the waist. I've got the thick hair. It's also great down there.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
What's a principled bitch? What does that mean?
Principles, like good morals, a good moral standard.
Nice. Yeah, I'm learning so much a different level of colloquialism through you. Do you also feel like, I know we spoke about like the time tax, the financial tax of beauty, but there's also power in how you reclaim beauty and the standards of it, I
think
guess.
there can be. Yeah. I think like with anything, it's not like right or wrong or black and white. Like there's like, yes, obviously like all of these things are really annoying, but then at the same time, like it can be empowering as well. And like I am the type of person, like I was brought up in a way where it's like people are going to see you, like people are going to have an impression of you when you walk in the room, so make sure your clothes are clean and you know, that type of stuff.
Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Always presentable.
Be presentable, exactly. So I definitely carry that with me in my adult life. I'm like, gotta look the part. But yeah, sometimes that can feel like a prison as well.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one. It's a really hard one. Is it big?
Is it long?
Is it long? Can it fit in my tongue? Let me put you on. Let me sing this song. I love the vim. You know, I think the vim is really, really, really important. And I feel like people have now come to you for vim on records, mostly dance records.
Yeah.
And you've played with some of the best, or you performed or collaborated with some of the, you know, your phone book of UK dance producers is pretty stacked, and I think people give their like right arm to be in the studio with them. What was it that, like, how did you get, I mean, like, yeah, was there like initiation to the dance world, or did they come to you as well?
Yeah, mixture. I would say, like, first and foremost, I'm just a fan, and I love partying, I love being in the dance, I love bass. I love being next to the speaker. Yeah. I love...
You're a raver.
I'm a raver. I love it. Like, I'm a party girl. So when it came to like having the opportunity to work with some people, obviously I'm going to jump at that opportunity. And if I'm meeting somebody out, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm a fan. I would love to work with you, or whatever it is. Like, I'm definitely like if you don't ask, you don't get type of person. So I'd always try my luck at anything, or, you know, if anything were to come up, or someone would say, oh, I know so-and-so, I'd be like, oh, really? Let's make that happen, girl.
Yeah. Being honest with your ambitions.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, not always. Like, you know, I'm in the past, I'm like, I don't care what happens. I'm just, you know, But yeah, obviously I need to live. I'm from London. Everything is expensive. But in terms of like who I want to work with, yeah, I'm ambitious, and I get such a kick out of working with like just really talented people. It's so exciting. Everyone's so different, like with their working style. So yeah.
I think you mentioned before like this like deservedness. Yeah. Sometimes when you go into a room, but I also feel like it is a two-way street, because it's not like you're just meeting people in the club and being like, hey, I want to work with you. Otherwise everyone would have those moments and get the result. But people want to work. Dance producers specifically want to work with you. I think the tone of voice.
Yes.
You know, they really love the tone of voice. And actually not many people have your tone of voice. It's not like you're going to turn on the radio and everybody's got that tone. But then I also think it's the vim of the writing, which I think is really, really important as well.
I'm definitely a student of the music, so I would try to like be myself, but also I feel like I'm trying to come with like I don't know. I'm really such a geek, so I'm coming with the like, have you heard this song from somewhere? Like let's try and do something like this, you know?
Yeah, so you're bringing something to the studio as well. Yeah, and I guess when you did the research into the Naughties, would you have done that same sort of deep dive into maybe certain different dance records?
Yeah, so much. Definitely.
What's the best dance record for you? Like, or right to, I'm sorry, it's like an existential question, but like sort of lyrically that you're like, that's such well-written dance record.
Oh, the Anita Baker, The Jungle song, I can't remember how it goes now.
Sweet Love.
Sweet Love, exactly. That is such a huge reference for me, because I love like how this is like I describe this style of music as being like pink, like and also more is more, like it feels like very pink to me. Like it's quite like romantic and also just like there's something really like deeply like emotional and like but also like really bright and expansive, and obviously her vocal is like amazing, and I don't think she would have like expected that it would become like such a like dance like classic, like
that it would even fit in that way. She was recorded in a slower way, or, you know,
exactly. But yeah, that's like a huge reference for me. But then also like I love the more like talky style as well, which I think can fit really well in the dance record. I'm trying to think of something that is, you know, like a good one to reference.
Azealia Banks, 2 on 2.
Yeah, I mean, she's the master. Obviously, problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying nothing, but insanely talented.
No, let's not awaken the demon.
Yeah, no, please. I can't be dragged again.
But oh my god!
But that style of like sitting in the pocket. You know, is it rapping? Is it talking? You do it on this record.
Yeah, and like having that mixed with the vocals, like so fab.
And that's what you do sort of as it gets to the end. You really start sort of, you know, is it big, is it long? Or, you know, and then we kind of have the chorus which sees us out. But before that, we have like a closing statement, which I would call a closing statement. So I want you to feel free. Don't worry about me. I'm smoking trees and sipping on that psilocybin. Want to feel alive. And
yes.
What are you saying in the end? What's between those
I guess
lines?
I'm just like, this is my private life. This is what I do to have fun. Like, however you want to explore yourself, your sexuality, whatever it is, you go and do that. And like, don't be too concerned with like what everyone else's opinions of you or whatever. That's like a message to myself and to anyone. Also, my drugs of choice.
Yeah. And is there a way then, like, you know, obviously that's kind of how we can try it and feel. Is there like small things that we can do, you know, as women to access that liberation, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a big thing?
Yeah, I think really it's talking to your friends. I think like this and asking for help, something I find so hard. I'm trying to get better at it, but like leaning on my friends more and just not feeling like I'm alone in the world and like, you know, I have to figure out everything on my own. I'm definitely quite like leaning towards the hyper independence, where it's just like, what is even the point in that, girl? Like I've got really lovely friends, and yeah, just getting to hang with them, speak to them. They give me so much confidence, like such great advice. We have such a fun and fab time. I'm just like, yeah, lucky.
I think that's such a beautiful answer, and it's something that I think is actually a sort of subject that a lot of people are exploring, like why as women sometimes we not ask for help and we take it all on, isolate ourselves in our become the prison of our brains. But and I think that's such a beautiful answer. It's a liberating thing, which you wouldn't even think. Just talk to your friends.
Share how you're feeling.
I love that. Oh, George, it's been so fun. I was really looking forward to this episode because I wanted, you know, like I said, we have the range on the podcast. We have some of the really deep and really sort of heartfelt conversations which are needed too.
Yes.
But it's really nice just to have fun.
I'm so happy to be here. Obviously, I love you so much, Jamz, and known you for such a long time. So it's lovely.
My little sister, get out of here. We always ask for a line from the song to leave people with.
Oh, a line from the song?
Yeah, from Private Life. Yeah.
Oh, from Private Life. Oh. I'm just like, is it big, is it long?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Is it big, is it long, girl?
In the words of George Riley, is it big, is it long? Drops mic.